While we were catching up with the congressman at GSL, one big topic of conversation was improving profit margins for cattle producers. Enter range cow nutritionist and extension specialist for West Central Extension and Research Center, Travis Mulliniks. Travis was kind enough to share with us how researchers are working to develop the ranch of the future by using new technologies and practices with the goal of increasing profit margins for our producers. Just north of Highway 2, in a sleepy sliver of the Sandhills, lies the Gudmundsen Sandhills Laboratory. This location is the centerpiece of what is known as the Ranch of the Future. As input costs continue to rise for many beef producers, researchers are using new technologies here to construct the most state-of-the-art management systems.
Financial loss with production agriculture, we've got tighter margins. Increased cost of labor, increased feed cost, increased land cost. And there are output traits that we have, so say calf weaning weights, have not changed. And so our outputs are stabilized, but our inputs keeps going up. And so that's challenging to be profitable, and that's where one area we see technology coming in and playing is how can I decrease or manage these costs better? Another one is labor, finding skilled labor. And some of these technologies may not do away with labor, but they'll help with areas that we may be a little short in labor and help us make those decisions that used to require additional person.
From monitoring health and well-being to decreasing feed input costs, there are a plethora of new technologies that are being implemented at GSL that can assist ranchers in making better management decisions faster.
So there's a lot of new air tag technologies. There's new companies coming out with technologies looking at reproductive performance or indicators, calving events, looking at health statuses, etc. A lot of technology that we're looking at from an animal side is how can we use camera-based systems to get the body weight and body condition score of cows, and utilizing such technologies as a way to monitor conditions of my cows and make rapid proactive decision making from that. Some other technologies that we're looking at is some smart technology feeders, a feeding situation that I can deliver feed to each individual cow out on the pasture. Instead of feeding a whole herd of cows a certain rate of a supplement, can I individually feed those cows and decrease that variation in response? For the benefit of a producer standpoint, if I'm feeding cows on pasture, I have a high rate of variation of intake of that supplement. Even if I try to get, like, say, 2 pounds per day per animal, I'm going to have some 6 to 8 pounds eaters, and some cows are not eating anything. And so my performance result from that is going to be highly variable. And so how can I really combine that with some other technologies that say body weight and really be precise about my supplemental feed costs and what I'm supplementing to get an optimal performance response?
While drones aren't necessarily new tech when it comes to agriculture, GSL is currently cultivating new applications for drone use in the field to assist in management decisions.
We're seeing more and more use of drones in the industry, and one thing we want to look at with drones is forage quality and quantity. Can I fly that drone over a certain pasture and know how much forage quality and quantity there is, so I can make actually better decisions on, do I need to move those cows? What's the quality of that pasture? Do I need to change my supplementation, etc.? And so if we can utilize such technologies as a drone to give us a subjective measurement of what's there, we can make better decisions than a less subjective or a subjective measurement that is more of a guess.
While the upsides to these new tools are exciting, there are still barriers to making these kind of technologies readily available to producers nationwide.
A lot of challenges is cost. New technology comes out, there's high cost. Another is connectivity. Think about the landscapes that we utilize in the ranching community. We're usually in larger, extensive environments. Connectivity is one of being able to connect these technologies to a dashboard that actually can help you make decisions. And that's been the problem with a lot of technologies, is that They've been available, but they don't work in our situations because of where our cows at. In the dairy industry, they've utilized technologies for a long time due to the location of where their cows, being able to connect wirelessly to these technologies into a platform to get that data back in a way to make decisions. And so connectivity is another challenge that we're faced of making improvements in adoption of technologies.
As these new technologies may be in the hands of some producers in the near future, those who are hard at work building the ranch of the future are trying to ensure producers can hit the ground running if and when they choose to invest in these newer innovations.
Yeah, well, with technology, what we're looking at ways is how can we better manage our resources and optimize resource use across our landscapes. And doing that from a position of, can I do it from my desk? Can I get that data to my smartphone? And be able to make decisions quicker than I would beforehand. And so you think about beef production is, if I make one change, I may not see the results of that change for another 6, 8, a year later. And so it's a long-term investment. And so some of these technologies will help get that data back quicker, that we see the benefit of that technology and the resulting increase in production or profitability, et cetera, that some of these technologies will give us.
As a centerpiece of the Ranch of the Future, the research conducted at Gudmundsen Sandhills Laboratory has brought together students and faculty in closer connection with farmers and ranchers to help them make some of the best long and short-term management decisions possible. Reporting for Market Journal, I'm Bill Dodd.